in shape, 145.
Yeah.
In shape. You know what I mean? So this is different from a Crawford coming up to 168, but we know his walk around weight is probably 170, 180.
Tank Davis' only shortcoming, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility.
Before his fight with Jake Paul, Terence Crawford is said to have visited Gervonta Davis and given him helpful training and strategy advice. Reports say that the two champions showed a lot of respect for each other by talking about fight plans and trading skills. Reports say that Crawford praised Gervonta's amazing talent and work ethic and said he would always support him. He also said that he would be happy to fight Davis if he ever wanted to, not because they are rivals, but because he respects boxing as a whole.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes, daring to be great.
You would fight?
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow. Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147.
Oh,
I'll make 147.
Ooh, see, oh man.
You're gonna have a pre-camp.
Then what the people gonna say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
It looks like Gervonta Davis is copying Terence Crawford, one of the most technically skilled boxers in the world. People notice Crawford's unpredictability, how well he manages balance, and how often he changes his stance during Canelo Alvarez's training. Tank looks like he's doing the same thing now. In his new training videos, he is trying out different footwork, angles, and even stances in the middle of a combination, which is something he hasn't done much of before. People say that he is not only studying Crawford, but also during Boots Ennis, who got good at both stances. This change shows that Tank wants to surprise everyone in the upcoming fight with Jake Paul.
Right. This is scary. Gervonta Tank Davis is working on his versatility. We already know he has that ultimate equalizer, that special God-gifted one-punch knockout power. But he also can box. Gervonta Tank Davis, he's very durable, has a chin, never seen him visibly hurt. Gervonta Tank Davis also has great footwork and foot placement. And here you see Gervonta Tank Davis' only shortcoming, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox. Great switch hitters, no diddy in the sport of boxing.
Shobi's the Adult, a well-known boxing analyst, says that the fight between Tank and Jake needs to stay interesting. He said that a lot of people think it will be like a sparring match, with both fighters being nice to each other so they don't feel embarrassed. But if that happened, their careers would be over right away. Fans would never pay to see them again after they lost interest. We can't judge this battle because both Tank and Jake have a lot of fans who want to see them get excited. It has to be really intense, or else all the fun will be gone.
It could be career ending. Jake Paul can end his whole shit. That's the black. Tank can end Jake Paul's whole shit. And if that fight is meh, and it's just a sparring session that's tit for tat, their shit's over. Because people gonna be pissed that it's exactly what they expected it to be. They can't do that. If they do, their career's ruined. Jake Paul career's ruined, and Tank. If they make it meh and just touch, both their brands suck. That's the black two sugars. You mess around in that bell ring, and you see little Tank, and you see big Jake, and he's throwing a jab, and little Tank making a miss, and bam, and y'all gonna be like, whoa, say I'm lying. Y'all, you know what? Yes, say I'm lying. Please say I'm lying. But y'all gonna be right there, cheering, because you ain't never seen nothing that damn bizarre. Even De La Hoya versus Shaq had headgear, and Shaq ain't a boxer. That right there, fireworks. Because you're going to be holding your breath. Especially Tank fans. I'm going to be like, don't hit Tank. You're going to see Tank little ass legs. He's going to come. And big ass Jake, big legs, and big ass head. Bang, bang. Watch. Y'all talk all that shit now because y'all love talking shit. Y'all love hating on things until you see it. Like women back in the 90s. I remember my sisters back in the 90s. You ain't that cute. You ain't, but all on your shit. That's what y'all do. Y'all talk shit, but y'all the first ones there.
Keith Thurman revealed a harsh truth about Gervonta Davis and his critics. He made it clear that the people who always criticize Tank are the same ones who never miss his fights. Even though they say his performances aren't good enough, they keep watching every event he takes part in. Thurman says that this kind of behavior shows how supporters unknowingly help him while trying to hurt him. Even if the attention is bad, it only makes Tank's name bigger in the boxing world. When they criticize his fights, they always end up giving him more attention and keeping his popularity up.
If you're really not happy with Tank, first off, don't watch Tank. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You support it, then what you doing? You can't not support and support at the same time, right? So if you're a boxing purist, then this fight with Roach is really more for you. It's going to be more up your alley, you know? If you just like all entertainment, all fights, all hypes, all everything, then you're going to want to tune in to the Tank and Paul's show there, you know, because that's all for entertainment. What is it? For entertainment purposes only, right? It's just say like somewhere in the small print of the promotion. For entertainment, don't do this at home, kids. You know, so fine.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. For entertainment purposes only, you know. So, you know, it's money-making purposes only. You know, it is what it is. People.
Clarissa Shields told Tank that the only fight that makes sense for him is against Shakur Stevenson. This made Tank mad. Tank replied coldly, "No one has a right to tell him what to do." There was no doubt about what he meant. If someone wants to be a fan, they should be one, not a manager. The answer comes from a deeper place. A lot of his own fans said bad things about him online after he drew with Lamont Roach, saying he was too good. He clearly didn't like the criticism, and since then he hasn't lived up to what other people expected of him. He thinks in a simple way. He fights for himself, not for other people's acceptance.
Says that, you know, pretty much the only people that can beat him is Shakur Stevenson, and I don't know who else he said. He said she thought that at a point in time that Devin Haney could beat him, but now she doesn't believe that. But so really the only fight that there is for Gervonta Davis is Shakur. What a mighty, mighty convenient argument. And Gervonta Davis responded, and basically his response was, "Come on, girl, stop talking about me so much because you're making me feel like I'm special." Right? So he pretty much just, you know, kind of blows it off. But I really think that there's something much deeper going on here, and it is that this, and I said it again, I said it in another video, I'll say it in this one, the Bud Buddies. The Bud Buddies are a crew of boxers that all hang around and worship Terence Bud Crawford. And the main two members of it, besides the people that are actually in Terence Crawford's camp, his fighters are Shakur Stevenson and Clarissa Shields, without a doubt. Clarissa Shields is a huge backer of Terence and a huge backer of Shakur Stevenson. At the end of the day, the only thing she really cares about is what's in the best interest of Shakur Stevenson. And anything and everything she say is angled that way to get Gervonta Davis to do something that Shakur Stevenson wants him to do, which is really do all the hard work and then be there for Shakur Stevenson to become a star at the end of it. I'm telling you, man, I believe that to the bottom of my soul, that is the same plan that Terence Crawford ran on Errol Spence Jr.
Tank and Jake Paul's fight doesn't follow the rules of conventional boxing. As numerous boxing commentators have noted, bouts such as this don't constitute true competitiveness. They fall somewhere between display and sport. Both men are still in their prime, which is a main reason this fight seems dubious. As demonstrated by Mayweather's latest bouts, exhibition battles typically make sense when fighters are past their prime. However, both are capable, active, and still moving up the ladder in this instance. This adds to the event's strangeness. It makes it difficult to distinguish between a viral entertainment stunt and a boxing match.
Assuming there's no rehydration clause, which I don't believe there is, he'll probably weigh around 215 pounds in the ring. That means there's a sort of a 60 to 70 pound difference between the two men in the ring on fight night, which is absolutely enormous. There are weight classes for a reason in boxing, and this is the sort of thing that is typically not allowed or permitted. And like I said in my intro, it goes to the heart of that key question in boxing, which is how big is too big? It's the reason that the pound for pound list exists, where we kind of imagine if everybody was the same size, who's the best, who's number one? And it's a debate that rages on and on and on. And so when I see a fight like this, I think the hardcore boxing fans, generally speaking, have felt frustrated by it. Yes, because we want Gervonta Davis as part of the actual sport, competing for world titles against the other elite guys in his weight class, but also because if he gets knocked out and loses to Jake Paul, it creates this illusion that Jake Paul's much better than he actually is. And so I guess the question for me is, can Gervonta Davis beat Jake Paul, or will Jake Paul simply be too massive? Can Jake Paul use his size, or will Gervonta Davis simply be too skilled? What's the answer here? And in trying to answer this, I looked to history, and there's one fight that immediately popped out of my mind, and I thought, I wonder what the size difference was there. In fact, it may even be more significant, and it was, and the small guy won. Some of you might be thinking about it right now. It's when David Haye took on the monster, the absolutely ginormous human being, Nikolai Valuev. I think it took place around 2009. So at the time, I was literally a teenager. I didn't have a clue what I was looking at, and I'd fully bought into this David versus Goliath story. But I think it's an excellent example here to draw comparisons between the Gervonta Davis-Jake Paul fight to try and understand whether or not this is a good template and blueprint to try and predict and understand what the size difference might look like in the ring. Now, David Haye was 6'3" and was 217 pounds for the Valuev fight, whereas Valuev was 7 foot tall and weighed 316 pounds.
The enormous weight disparity is another factor contributing to the unease surrounding this battle. Tank Davis typically competes in the lightweight and super lightweight classes, while Jake Paul is more or less a cruiserweight. That's a difference of about 60 to 70 pounds. Anything that was intended to be avoided by the boxing method. Weight classes are in place for a reason, to shield combatants from power and damage imbalances. Why even have divides if these types of altercations become commonplace? The danger is obvious. The physical imbalance may make it risky or outright unfair, even if it is referred to as an exhibition.